morning, everyone. Welcome to Kelley's Creative Dream Studios, and today is day 2 of the hashtag 7 Days Summer Digi 2021. Please remember, if you are participating in this, to use that hashtag. There was some confusion about what the hashtag was actually supposed to be, and Kara, Brandon, and I come to the conclusion yesterday that that was the first one that came out, and that's the one we need to be using. So today's pages, speaking of Kara, this is Kara's collage page for day 2. And I'll tell you, I had so much fun with this. I've left it whole. I've butchered it apart. I've taken components here and components there. I've got a lot of things to show you today. And then with Julie's, my papers are damp. It's really damp outside. And I've got the windows open, airing out the house. And then this is Julie's. And I fell in love with this note paper and just all the note writing space. I love writing space in a journal. And I'm going to turn it this way so you can see the whole thing. And I think my camera needs to come up just a little bit. Actually, let's leave that one there. And let's turn this knob. Nope, that's not the one I need to turn. Bear with me just a minute. There we go. That's the one I needed to turn. I use an Artco camera holder, and I love it because I can do things like that. Okay, so I've got items that I've done with this. So let's see what I've done. And I also promised you today that we would do the pocket, envelope pocket thingy together, so we will do that. First off, I want to start with how I butchered apart, how I left the collage sheet together. I lined it with green tissue paper. And then I printed several copies of that out on 32 pound weight copy paper. So I've got a notebook. And on the back of each sheet, I stamped this image from Tim Holtz. And it is from his Mini Classics CMS 062 collection. So I've used that. I wanted just the note, but I don't have a stamp that says just the note. So Tim's ink quills was the perfect thing for me to do. I've got some ink smudges here. I've been going back and forth between dyeing papers this morning and working on the journal pieces. So I have lots of writing space in this journal. And because these weren't seamed together, I couldn't really, without seaming them together with other papers, I couldn't make them flip. So what I did was I did basically a stack of note on the side seam instead of from the top. And then I stitched on the cover. Of course, I didn't think about stitching until after I had these glued in. So we're only in the sides. Now, I have some embellishments that I want to do on the front with this yet. I printed a second one of these out on the cardstock. The cover is done on cardstock, by the way. And I printed a second one out on cardstock. And I have some pieces here. And I started by cutting the larger tray out. Now my ink is running out, but that's okay. I like the contrast. And I've just put some dimensionals on the back. And this will help give me a little bit of dimension on the front. And I'm going to layer it right over top of that other tray. I'm going to do the same thing with this one, but I have mini pop dots, or dimensionals. Now I sell both of these in Stampin' Up. And if you're interested, let me know and I can make sure I link those in a future video. So there are my dimensionals. Sometimes getting the paper backing off is a little bit of a challenge, but I've been up since 4:30 this morning playing in the studio. It was 62 degrees outside. It's absolutely gorgeous. Feels more like fall than spring. Okay. Now this one I'm going to add a little bit of more dimension, but I'm not using the dimensionals. What I've done is I've glued 2 pieces of scrap file folder together and then cut this image out of one of the dimensional sheets from Kara. Or Julie? No, this was from a previous one. Wasn't it? No, it's off this corner. Duh. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to, and this almost makes it like a chipboard. Now I'm not going to, I'm doing this without my cheaters, so it's not going to be the best cut job in the world. But we'll get there. And then because I want it to stand out just a little bit more, I'm going to come back with my Early Espresso ink from Stampin' Up! And just come in around the edges. And that'll help it pop too. And I have trying to get that white off of there. Give it a little bit of dusting this way. And that just makes it like a chipboard. And then I can go ahead and glue it in place the way it is. I need to take my baby wipe and glue that. I didn't want anything real bumpy on this corner because it's, you know, in the corner. But I did want a little bit more texture there. Wipe my ink up off my mat before I have it everywhere, including on my fingers. And then we'll just set that aside to dry. I added some of the fabric trim to the spine and then a piece of the lace. So that's my notebook that's going to go in this one. And then I have my paper clip. Now tomorrow I'm going to show you step by step how to do this paper clip. But I used a couple of the images cut from out of Kara's collage sheet and did this one, and then this one is from Dearjuliejulie. So I put the two of those together on that one. I need to trim my lace off. So tomorrow I'll show you how to do this and walk you through with the dimensions. And then I made a full-size paper clip. Now I got this idea from Maddie at Spectrum Art-Maddie. And so I've got this one here, and let me see if I can find something this will work. And that gives me a hidden paper clip there that will go to the top of the page rather than to the side. And then I have the French pastry recipe on the back. And that one is also from Kara. And this one I took, this piece came from Kara, I believe. Yes. And then I collaged pieces on top to give it a little bit more oomph. And you know what I think it needs? Let me do this. Let's put a little bit of glue right there. And hidden under here, I used the bling from Dollar Tree that comes on the spool. And then I cut it in 6-inch sections, 6 bling sections. And then all I have to do is go through and clip off 3 as I need them. And we'll glue that on there. Because I just realized I didn't have any bling anywhere on these pieces. And I'm just trying to get that to go there. Okay, so we've got a paper clip for the top. Then I did a belly band. Now with the belly band, I'm not sure exactly where I want to put it. So I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm thinking it's going to go probably on this side. I have a glue goober I'll have to get off of there. So that's why I haven't cut it down yet. But what I did was I took 2 pieces of gingham designer series paper from Stampin' Up. It was a retired paper that I've had. And thank you, Marcy. I did not even think about my gingham gala paper until I saw your inside cover of your book this morning. Absolutely gorgeous. If you don't check anybody else out, make sure you go check out Marcy Davis's Day 2. As soon as she opened, we were all just blown away. The woman is incredibly talented. So anyway, I did that, and I seamed it together with just a piece of paper. And then I took a piece of narrow white cardstock and tore pieces of music paper, distressed them and laid them along the edge, and then just collaged pieces from that collage sheet. I destroyed the collage sheet to turn around and recollage it, and made a belly band. I added some of my dyed green lace to the bottom, and then some of the vintage Dollar Tree lace to the top that I've been using. And I won't cut this apart till I know exactly where it's going to go, somewhere in here on my Day 2. And then I have one more here I'm going to use, but I'm not going to do it yet, but I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. You'll notice I've got little holes punctured. This is one of them that I printed out on cardstock. And I'm sitting here and I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and I'm going to cut this border out all the way across. And then I'm going to back this with my green paper. In fact, I can go ahead and do that right now because that won't take anything. Go ahead and put it on the back of my green paper. That won't take anything at all. Squish it down. My scissors and cut it out here really quick. Because I have a piece laying here that I want to put on the top. So I can go ahead and do that part. If you'll notice, the top of this is cut off, and that's the way it was on the dimensional, or on the collage sheet. So it almost like it's begging for something to be on there. And from Dearjuliejulie, I believe, yes, from Dearjuliejulie, I have this piece of, it's a bowl of strawberry jello, I believe, that came off of her flinch card. And I'm going to just stick it right on the top. And then after I get this cut out, this will slide right into the recess of where I've trimmed this out. So that is another element that will be, you'll see the completion of in the flip through. And now we're to the pocket. The pocket is really super simple. You're going to take a junk mail envelope, a regular envelope, whatever. I got this from Tina at Shabby Dabby Doodah. Close your envelope up and then figure out about how deep you want your pocket and just fold it up. Ta-da! That's simple. Now I am going to come back and distress that edge. I don't think it's going to show, but I'd rather have it have a little bit of color just in case. And I'm going to do the same way with what is going to be the inside of the envelope, or the part that's going to show, and I'll show you why I'm doing that in just a second. But while we've got the ink out, and it doesn't matter that it's a little dark or whatever in places, and this I'll have to come back and do again across the top because we're going to slit it open. There. Okay. Now, I chose a piece of music paper from out of one of my music books, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out, it doesn't have to go all the way down into the pocket, just enough to recess below it. Determine how long it needs to be. And I'm just going to take it right there. Oh, that is really tearing funky. Let's do this. Okay. And then how wide I need it is probably about 1/4 of an inch narrower than the envelope. Just like this. And then I'm going to come back again and distress the edge of this. Let's get that in a little dark. If you can fold paper and you can glue, you got this made. Okay? So there's that. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to snip this envelope open like that. And where's my circle punch? My circle punch is right here. And I'm going to go ahead and pinch that. And I'm using a 1-inch circle punch. You can make it however deep you want. And then that way I can line this up with the hole. Come back here with my... And since I'm not going to see the back of this, I'm going to slip that right inside that envelope and use it as my guard there. Just like that. And then we go through. My favorite glue to use for most anything is Tombow Mono liquid adhesive in the green bottle. Now everybody has their own that they like to use. I have a couple of different ones that I use for different things. Didn't actually line that circle up very well, did I? And I got this a little long, so I can go ahead and just snip that off so it's out of the way. Now, I don't want that to glue down, and I see I've got some glue there, so what I'm going to do is take my baby powder. and a puff. And just give that a dusting. So that'll take up the glue. Okay, and then I'm going to take, and I'm going to glue just the sides of this pocket. And glue that up. Okay, and then I saved this piece from off of here, and I'm going to go ahead and use me a little bit of paper here to and I'll have to see, we may have to go back and measure this and turn it down just a little bit. Yeah. Let's leave the top and let's take this trim off the bottom. Yeah, I like that better, but we need to dust our corner again, and I don't think it's really going to show because I'm going to go back and add a piece of lace off the end of this pocket. So, and then we'll put this. Dips. I'll move this back in frame in a minute. I just want to lay this down and then get that glue off of there. There we go. And then all I've done is glued it to the front here. And I'm not so sure, but did I put that on upside down? I most certainly did. Let's see if we can rescue it. If not, it happens. Can't believe I did that. Yeah, I can this morning, considering, like I said, I've been doing this since 4:30 this morning. Wow, I just got a burning sensation in my throat. Feels like I swallowed a Hall's cough drop. There we go. Now we're on the right side. And then, I said I've got several glues that I like to use. And I don't see my paintbrush handy. I must have left it out in the kitchen. But let's take a piece of this. Dollar Tree, do we want to, let's put it at the top. I think I like it at the top. Use my ribbon scissors here. And this is a craft glue. I've listed this before. Comes in a white bottle. I get it at Hobby Lobby. And see, I managed to squirrel that again. Before I make a total mess, let's stick this piece of wax paper under there. And then we can glue our lace down. Just like that. I normally use a little bitty paintbrush to do that, but I had taken it in to the kitchen to wash the glue out, and I apparently didn't bring it back in. And we know we've got that little bit of glue there, so let's go ahead and dust this pocket with the baby powder. Trim our edges. See, we've got several edges here. Okay. And there's our pocket. Now I have pieces here from Julie that I'm going to put in here. They still need a little bit of oomph, but I'm not sure exactly what I want to do to them. But I have this sales receipt and the library card. It looks like that's going to have to get trimmed off just a little bit, but we can do that. And also, one of my favorite tricks is when you're putting stuff into pockets, particularly if they're long items, if you round your corners first, they will slide down into the pocket easier. So this will go down in there. This will slide in there. And this will slide in there. And there we go. And then we'll have room to put something else down in here. We can seal this flat to our page as it is. We can only seal on two sides and make it a tuck this way. Or we can just seal on three sides and have room for a tag to go down behind, as well as here, here, and in the pocket. And that is how you put together an envelope pocket from there. Okay, let's pull the pieces back in really quick, show you what we've done today. We had our envelope pocket. Let's pretty up the place a little bit. There's our envelope pocket. The note card piece that I'm going to cut down. Our belly band. Our day 2 tab punch. Our top hidden paper clip. And our notebook. I'd say that is quite a bust on that digital for day 2. Remember hashtag 7 days with an S, summer, digi 2021, and you'll find all kinds of creativity. I have a playlist that I will link down below, as well as the participants, the other elves in this collab. And tomorrow we will be back with day 3. I'll show you how to make this paper clip, and we'll see what else is in store for tomorrow. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and visit the other elves, and I will see you back here in the studio tomorrow. Creative blessings.